So the original plan was to leave this house where I was living in this toxic nightmare and get my shit together and pay my debt and save up money and buy land. And what happened was I got into more debt and now I'm back here. So what is the next move? What is the plan now since the original plan got kiboshed? Good morning. It's about 8:30 in the morning and I'm about to make a tiramisu. Trying to clean the glass on my father's aquarium because you can't see the fishies. I have to be careful not to knock the little starfish off. This is the side I just did. Hi, fishies! The feeder just released their food. I just brought my brother one of the tiramisus and I made myself a little one, so I'm gonna taste that. Not bad. I like it. As you well know, if you've been watching my videos, about 2 years ago I was living in this house. It's my parents' house. And I was living with my mother, and she was strongly discouraging me from leaving and moving on with my life. That included manipulation, guilt trips, lies, shame, all the things. And eventually I moved into a Sprinter van. I left. I went across the country. So I traveled, I was in BC quite a bit, and a lot of it was beautiful and fun. A lot of it was stressful and really hard. My original plan was to break free and then to get my shit together. So I wanted to, travel, enjoy myself, enjoy my life while I still had some bit of freedom or whatever, and try to build my YouTube channel, try to start making more money, and pay debt, save to eventually buy land. That was the original plan, is to get my shit together and then buy land. One of the biggest obstacles, one of the many obstacles, was that when I accepted the invitation to travel with someone that I'd met in BC and to go to Ottawa, this person, even though I had met all of their friends and I thought I did my due diligence, but I could see in retrospect that I was just rationalizing red flags, as we do. But I learned a valuable lesson through all of that anyways. So this person ended up being a narcissist and dumped me and my 3 cats and my stuff out in Ontario. I basically, the choice that they gave me was to keep on with them and continue being yelled at and abused and continue having the threat of being thrown out at any given moment, because it was actually the second time that this had happened. Once was shortly after we left BC, and I was going to leave and go back to BC and cut my losses before it got too bad, but for some reason she talked me into, getting back in the car, and I was just stressed out, kind of whatever the hell she told me. So, if you see the red flags, you should really listen to them, because they're going to save you a lot of trouble. Part of the reason I was rationalizing is because obviously I really wanted to go to Ottawa and, be a part of this thing, or witness it and document it and experience what was going on. Which I did, and I'm grateful for the opportunity and the experience. But what happened on this journey is whatever. She, dumped me in North Bay, which a lot of you already saw, and then I had to make my way from North Bay, Ontario, back to Vancouver Island, where my stuff was, where my van was, because I was traveling with her in her van, or her trailer, or whatever. So I had to make my way across the country with my 3 cats and my stuff and no vehicle back to my van with all my stuff. And through that process, not only were there a ton of crazy obstacles, and all of this is documented and in my vlog if you are new here, so you can watch the whole thing go down, but I ended up maxing out my credit cards, which caused me, obviously, a harder time financially. And I ended up, instead of slowly paying down my debt and, making some progress, I ended up in a position where my payments were so large that I was just keeping my head above water. Then my Sprinter started to fall apart about a year in. It was already falling apart from the very beginning, basically, but a year in, it was no longer, I couldn't keep it anymore. Long story. Again, it's all in the vlog. And I had to change vehicles. I wanted to buy a secondhand car or a secondhand van, but for some reason I wasn't getting approved for my credit. And I had assumed that it was because I had high utilization, which very likely played a role in it, a big role in it. But I've recently realized that I changed phone company at some point. And so I changed from Virgin to Bell. And for some reason, even though I don't owe Virgin any money, they put me into R9 collections, or collections. I'm not sure if it's R9 in Canada, or if that's an American thing, but they put me into collections. So I had a bad debt on my credit report that I only recently realized, but it's been there for a very long time now, which was stopping me from getting any loans or whatever. And it even says on the credit report that the amount that I owe them is 0. So how that works, I don't know, but clearly that was there for a reason. Probably there to save me from even worse things happening if I actually bought another car. But I ended up having to buy another vehicle with cash that I didn't really have. So I had to, figure out how I was going to pay for this vehicle, which by a miracle, I ended up getting enough cash to buy the vehicle. Again, it's all in the vlog. And I bought this next secondhand vehicle with cash, which was also in way worse shape than I understood at the time. And that vehicle lasted me about a year again. So a year after I bought that, so I'm 2 years into van life, and I'm like, I felt this pull to come back to Montreal. And so I did. I drove back to Montreal. I felt a very strong pull. Didn't fully understand it. I just listened. Get here. For some reason, I decided to stay with a relative that I trusted. One of the very few that I trust and that I got along with very well. And I was really excited about it. He sounded super excited about it. I'm like, this is going to be great. I'm finally going to have an opportunity to just like settle down for a minute, have the space to like get my stuff together. I'll be able to leave my cats in a safe place while I go to a job every day, that kind of thing. And again, that's not how it happened. So about first and foremost, as soon as I get there, maybe like a few days in, I realized, wow, this is not what I anticipated getting myself involved in, and I'm not going to get into the full story here. I love this family member, but he has stuff that he's got to work on, and as much as he likes to think that his choices only affect him, his choices actually affect everyone around him, and everyone on the roads, by the way, putting people in danger on a regular basis. I'm not going to get into that right now, but just to say, I basically, within a very short while, a couple of days of getting there, I realized things were a little bit crazier than I anticipated. And that would be a bit of an obstacle in this idea that I had where I was going to, I don't know, start sleeping at night, getting up early, going to a job kind of thing. Things were not going as smoothly as I anticipated. They were not going to plan. And within about 2 weeks of being here, I also found out that Nala had cancer. And I spent the next 4 months trying to just earn enough money to pay my bills, despite still not being able to work a regular job, because not only were things chaotic, I was also having trouble getting said jobs, as many as I applied to. There seems to be some shadiness going on with the job market right now, but whatever. I was just, doing what I know how to do, flipping furniture or whatever. And Nala was progressing so quickly that I ended up spending so much of my time and energy and my emotions tending to her and just trying to keep her safe and alive and investing money into medications for her to be, hopefully, to try to heal her. I was really trying hard to heal her. So that was like 4 or 5 months of that. And then on top of that, during those 4 or 5 months or whatever, I was being constantly bullied by my relatives' quote unquote girlfriend, flavor of the week. And it was a nightmare. So the original plan was to leave this house where I was living in this toxic nightmare and get my shit together and pay my debt and save up money and buy land. And what happened was I got into more debt, and now I'm back here. If you're not following the vlog, I'm in the same house, but my mother died over the holidays. And no, I did not get the house in the inheritance. I did not get the car. I did not get anything. I got nothing. Because that's how they set up their wills, was to give it to each other. So 100% of her stuff went to him. And if she had died first, 100% of his stuff would have gone to her. And so when he dies, me and my brother split it all. But I did not get anything. I am only here watching my father's fish while he's gone on holiday. And driving his car, thankfully, because I don't have a vehicle right now, because I had to get rid of my van while I was at my relatives because it was falling apart. So I ended up getting rid of my second van, got rid of it, and then used that money to pay off some of my bills. So that was a thing as well. So I'm not anywhere closer to paying off my debt, and I'm not anywhere closer to buying land, and I'm not anywhere closer to really building my channel to where I had hoped that I would get it to. So what is the next move? What is the plan now since the original plan got kiboshed? One of the things that I thought about the possibility of doing was this kind of collaborative effort to get land and live off the land and monetize the land and so on. And it's a good idea, and I'm not totally against pursuing it. But with everything that's been going on in Canada, I'm not sure if I want to stay here, because part of me has this vision of what I want my life to look like, and it's in North America somewhere. And part of me isn't sure that's going to happen the way things are rolling out. Part of me wants to stay and defy the government and find solutions and work together with other people around me to find ways to make it easier to live, cheaper ways to eat, like growing food and stuff like that. And part of me thinks that maybe I should just leave, because I'm only one person, and I don't want to say that just that one person can't make a difference. It's just that I tend to try to fight Goliath, and maybe not every battle is one that I should be the one to fight. I also am not totally sure how well my other two cats are doing. I'm not sure how long they're gonna live. I realized after Nala died that my cats are actually older than I thought, that they're actually closer to 14 now, not 10. And so I don't know what's happening with that. But if I lose both of my cats this year, after everything that's happened, especially over the last couple of months, where I realized that the few people that I thought that still matter enough to me that I should stay in the country or in the province or whatever to, to be around, to have in my life, almost every single one of them has betrayed me. I was shown the truth about the relationships I thought I had with people, where I thought that there was a mutual love and respect and loyalty. And now I've come to find out that there's not. That the people that I would sacrifice of myself for wouldn't do the same for me. So I have one good friend here that we almost never see each other. And I have my niece and nephew and my godson. Just with my niece and nephew alone, picturing what it would look like to continue living here, just to have them in my life, because of the relationship that I have with my brother and his wife. It feels like I would be living a much smaller version of my life, because I got to be the one to go to them. I have to be the one to accommodate their life and schedules and whatever else. I always have to be the one to bend over backwards, because why wouldn't I? I have nothing going on, right? That's how I feel that I am seen, that people see me as easier to just conform to make their life easier, because I don't have kids, I don't have this and that. So instead of encouraging me to get that for myself, it's as if it's just easier for me to accommodate everyone else, to stay small and continue to accommodate everyone else. The people that I'm talking about, the people that I thought were worth staying here for, most of them, if not all, will not even see this video. They don't watch my videos. They don't care. They don't even remember half the time what my channel is or that I have a channel. One of them in particular didn't even know that I wrote a book, didn't know that I had even left the province or what I've been doing for the past 2 years. Imagine having this idea of your relationship with someone where you think that you're willing to sacrifice of your life to have them in it, and they don't even care where you've been for the last 2 years. So I'm not totally sure what the next step is here. I'm here babysitting fish and watching my father's house. And when he gets back, I'm sure he'll be fine with me continuing to stay here because I cook and I clean and I organize, and I'll probably end up doing the shopping and whatever else, which is fine considering I'm staying here for free. I don't mind that exchange. The point is that obviously I don't want to stay with my narcissistic father and I want to move on with my life. But for the first time in years, I've had the last 6 weeks to take a break, to catch my breath, to rest, and to try to get back on my feet, which I'm going to continue to do for the next couple of months. And then I will either figure out a way to buy land here, or I will leave the country one way or another. And when I say leave the country, I mean, if my cats are not going to live much longer, 6 months, a year, then by that time, whenever my cats pass, I will get on a plane and I will take off to Costa Rica or Indonesia, and I just won't come back. I will be gone because I have nothing keeping me here. And if my niece and nephew see this in the future, or my godson, or my friend that I still love in Montreal, I'm sorry. And I had to live my life.